Hello everyone, welcome back. Keyur Ganatra here with another project on the Python Basics series, and in this video we will create or develop our second project, that was the jumbled word menu based game. So let's start with the coding. Let's do more of doing and less of talking. So let's start. Before that, let's roll the intro. So get your machines ready, and in the same folder, that is in the same project, that is the basic project, the name of the project. So in the same folder I have created a new file and named it as jumbledwords.py. So now let's start with our project. So what we want to do in this, what all concepts what we will use, first let me tell you that. So in this we will use the random library. Remember the random library that we had learned, and then we will use the most important concept of functions. We will have if and else, and we will have a loop. So these are the four elements of this, or the ingredients of this project. So let's start. So what is the so for the main implementation part of the game, we and each of various part we will keep them in a different methods, right? So for the main implementation part of the game, let's have a different method, and that method will control the whole flow of the game. So let's create a method. We know how to create a method. So now let's give some meaningful name to our method. So since it's a game, let's name it as play. Okay, and now let's start. So first, in the last video we saw that how this project was working. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take the name of both the players, right? So let's have your player 1 is equals to input, and here we will have player 1. Please enter your name. Okay, and then similarly we will have that for player 2 as well. What we'll do is player 2 is equals to input player 2, please enter your name. Okay, so now since we will take both the players' names, so we have that. Now before we start the game, what we need to do is and since we have also seen that this game we will also have scores for both of the players. So for that we need to initialize the scores to 0 to avoid any junk value in the future. So let's declare some variables for the points, and let's initialize them to 0. So here we have player 1, and underscore what we will do is points equals to 0, and we will have player 2 underscore points equals to 0. Now what we will have is, let's say we have a variable turn. So what this variable will do, that if the value of this variable turn is an even number, then the chance will be of the player 1, and if the value of this turn variable becomes odd, then the chance to play the game will be for the player 2. So that's why we will have this turn variable that will help us switch the chance between the two players, that is player 1 and player 2. So we are done with all this initialization process. So now let's start. Again here we will need a while loop, right? Because it is an iterative task, and what we will do is while loop, and here we will have while 1 or while 2, both are the same. But here what we need to do, since we are making a game and we will have some points, we will have the value of the turn as an integer. So let's keep it as 1 rather than having it true. It will work absolutely fine if you write while true as well. So it's just another way of writing true and false. So let's say we have while 1. So now what we will do is we will pick some word. That is, the computer will pick some word from somewhere, and we will create that later, absolutely right. But we will just have an idea that we will have some list. In that there will be many words, and that computer will pick some word and then jumble it. So for that we need to write the code now, and then that list we will create that later. So here we have our while loop, and what we need to do is we need a variable picked word is equals to we will have your choose. Okay, now why this is giving us here error in choose, because The reason is that we are directly calling a method that is choose, but we don't have a choose method, that is we have not defined or declared any method as choose. That we will do later. So what we want, what is the basic idea, that there will be a method choose in which there will be a list, and we will randomly select any word from that, and whatever this method will return, that will go into this word, that is picked word. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to jumble. Okay. So we need to create a question, since the computer will ask us some question that will be jumbled, and we need to find the correct word. So let's name, and what we are doing is we are giving some meaningful names to our variables, right? Unlike the series where we were giving some random names. So whenever you are working on a project, make sure that you give some meaningful name to your variables, your methods, your classes. Yes, we have not seen classes right now, but we will see that in the advanced course as well. So now let's have a variable question. So here we have a variable question, and this what we will do is we will jumble the word. Jumble, and here we will pass the picked word. So the word that the computer has picked, that will be in the normal form, right? We need to jumble it. So again, we haven't created a jumble method as of now, but we will do that later. And what that method will do is that it will have a task of jumbling the word. Okay. So here we are done with again these two things, that we have a method to pick the question, and then once the computer has picked this, have jumbled the word, it will directly print. We saw, right? The computer was directly asking us some jumbled words. So for that, what we will do is we will have a question, and we will directly print the question. That is, we will print directly the jumbled word. Now we need to take the input from the user, that guess what is this word. Okay. So for that, we will have again a variable. Let's say have a variable that is choice, or we can give some any meaningful name. So since we have given a name to a variable as question, so let's have your answer. Answer is equals to input, and here we will have what's on your mind. That is, what do you think? What does this word? Or you can have any other statement as well. This is just for the what we say. Just it will look good, right? Just for that purpose. So you can have anything inside that, but here I am writing that what's on your mind. You can write something like can you guess it, or something like that. So here we have got the answer, that what is in your mind. Now we need to check that the answer, that the variable that is our answer. So input will be stored in this answer variable. So this variable's value should be equal to this value. So the answer should be equal to the picked word. If it is, then then the answer is right, and we will increment the point. So here we will need an if statement. So if answer is equals to picked word, and if it is so, what we will do is we will increment the points. So player 1 points is equals to player 1 points plus 1. So we have incremented the point. Initially the point is 0. So here when point is 0, here we can see. So here when the flow of control will come here, so this will be 0, right? So 0. So player 1 points is equals to 0 plus 1. The point will become then 1, right? So that is what we wanted. And here we can have a print message that we can have a print message that we can have that as your score is, and here we can directly print whatever the score was. Before that, here what we can do is print yes, that is the right answer. Okay, and we have incremented the point. But what if this is a wrong answer? So what we will do is, and so for that we will have an else statement. So here let's have else and print better luck next time. Okay, so we are done with this. So until now what we have done is, let's revise. We have declared variables to take the name from the user. We have initialized the points. We have a variable turn. We have the variable turn. Okay, and okay, we are missing something here, because we have declared the variable turn, but which user will answer, that we haven't taken care of. So what we will do is we will have here an if turn is equals to, or if turn ampersand 2 is equals to 0. We need to check that whether the value of the turn is even. So how we check? Using the ampersand, we will divide it by 2, and if the remainder is 0, then it is an even number. So how we get the remainder? Using this modulo operator. So in this, what we will have is, first we will print player 1 your turn. Okay, so player 1 your turn, then the player 1 will answer something, and what we will do is that we will just do proper indentation. Okay, why it is not working? Yeah. So we will do the proper indentation. Yeah, now we are going well. So let's revise again. So we have a turn variable, and if it is 1, the computer will choose a word, and after choosing a word, it will jumble the word and it will print the question. Then if the value of the turn is even, value of the turn variable is even, then we will print that player 1, it is your chance, and player 1 will answer something, and then we will have your checking condition, right? So let's go ahead, and again here what we can do is better luck next time, and we can give the correct answer. So correct answer is, let's have your picked word. So if the answer goes wrong, we will also tell that what was the right answer, right? So this is the right answer. Now what we will do is we will have a choice variable, right? We saw that there was one after answering the question, and if the answer goes with irrespective to it, whether it is right or wrong, the application was asking that press 1 to continue and 0 to quit. So if we press 1 to continue, then the chance will go to another person, right? That is the second figure. So for that we need to have that choice is equals to int, and in this here we will have input enter 1 to continue and 0 to quit. Enter 1 to continue and 0 to quit. Now we need to check again that what is the value entered by the user of the print. So let's have it. So we have here if choice is equals to 0. Okay, happens sometimes. So if choice is equals to 0, that is, so what we will do is we will directly break it. So if the value is 1, so now we will tell that we are not checking for 1, because if the value of the choice is 1, this loop will run again, and here we have while 1. So until the value will remain 1, this whole thing will be repeated again, and once if just the value becomes 0, then we will break the loop, right? So this is the simple logic behind it. So we have our code here, and what we will do that once we break it, so rather than breaking it, what we will do is we will print the points and we'll print that who won the message. So for that we will have another method, right? So let's call the method, let's name the method as thank you, and in this method we will do all that thing of thanking the user, that thank you for playing and all that thing. So we will do that in that method. Here we will just pass, that is player 1 name, we will pass the name of the player 2, we will pass the points of player 1, and we will pass the points of player 2, and all that thanking part and giving the score and that conclusion part, we will do that in the thank you method. So we have here 3 methods that we haven't declared as of now, right? So we have here all those things. So we are done almost with the code for the player 1. So now let's go for the code for the player 2, that for this if condition, that if turn is equals to 0, that if the value of the turn is even. So if it is not, we will need an else method, right? So here we will have an else method. So let's have it here. So turn is equals to 0, and here we will have else. And if this is not the condition, then again let's copy the whole code and paste it below, because the code or the logic will remain the same. Just to save the time, I am doing this. And now let's just replace the variables. Then let's replace everywhere that player 1 by replace player 1 by player 2. So don't forget anywhere. Okay, so player 1 by player 2, and all the rest things will remain the same. Okay, so we are done with almost our main logic of the game, but one more thing is remaining, is that the value of the turn is 0 right now. After first iteration we need to increment the value, right, to make it an odd. So what we will do is we will come outside this else loop, Okay, we outside the else loop, right? And here we will increment the value of turn. So turn is equals to turn plus 1. Okay, so once the this while loop has iterated, so it will come and counter here, right? Once rather with irrespective to that irrespective that the if statement was executed or else statement was executed, the control will come here, and whatever may be the value of the turn, it will be incremented by 1. So if it was even, it will be converted to odd, since it was incremented by odd or by 1, or if it was odd, it will become even, and the chance will be given to the other player. So thus we are done with our play method. So now what we need to do is we need to call this play method, right? Otherwise our game won't run. So now first let's create this choose method. So here we can see that we have some error. So here we have this bulb, right? So we can click on this bulb and it is saying us that create function choose. So let's just click on it and it will directly create a function for us, right? So now we have this choose. So in this, what we need to do is we need to randomly pick a word. So for that we need to define a list. So let's have a list here and let's name the list as words equals to, I will just give 3 or 5 names to the 3 or 5 names in the list. You can add more just to have some fun in the game. So let's have your, okay, let's have your Python, okay, not caps. Let's have your Python. Let's have your coding. Okay, more. We have game. Let's say we have class. Let's have just things that are related to this. Have computer. We have object. See, we have function. Okay, this much are enough. So you can give some more names later. So this is our list of words. Now we need to choose randomly. So for that, first what we need to do is we need to import the random library, right? So how we import, we have seen that import and random. So random library is imported, and since we haven't used it and used it yet, it is dark. It is a bit dark. So what we will do is let's create now. Let's choose randomly. So for that we will have a variable in which we will randomly pick. So here we will have random dot choice, and in this we will pass the list. We have seen that random module has a random module has a method choice, and this choice method takes a parameter. That parameter will be a list, and randomly it will choose any value from that list. So we have done this, and just the thing is left is we will return pick. Okay, now our random method. So let's check what it will do. It has a list, and it will pick randomly some value using this choice method, and it will return pick. Now where this value returned by this choose method will go is into this picked word, because we understand that we have called the picked method choose method here. Sorry, we have called the choose method here, and the choose method is returning some word, and that word will be stored into this picked word. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create this jumble class. So again, jumble method. So again, let's click here and create function jumble. So let's create, and we have got here function jumble. So now let's write code for this jumble method. So let's create a variable jumble, okay, or jumbled, and thus we will use the random library again to jumble the word. So we have another method in the random library that we haven't seen. So let me introduce you to that method. So the name of the method is random and dot sample. So what this method will do is it will take 2 parameters. First will be the word, and second will be the length of the word, and it will jumble that into that length only. Okay, so let's pass. So here we have that is picked word as the parameter, because that is coming as in parameter. So we will have this picked word, and here we will have the length of picked word. Okay, so this is our random library again. But what this sample method will do is it will not just only shuffle, but it will individually it will make that word into different letters and just shuffle. So again, since they have become various letters, we need to make them a single word. So for that, here we need to use another thing, that is a join method. So there is a join method in Python that will join it, and we need to specify that from where we need to join. So we need to join the spaces, right? So we need to specify that here we have space dot join, right? So we need to specify that, and this is not a space, this is just a code. So here we will have this, and this we will have in bracket. Okay, so this we will pass as a parameter to the join method. So this is all. and the last thing is remaining is that will return, and that is we will return jumble, right? Not jumble, but we will return jumble. So we are done with this jumble method as well. And the last thing that is remaining is this thank you method, right? We haven't created any thank you method, so let's tell our ID to do that. So the thank you method is created. So now here we just have to do the printing work. So what we will do is we will print first we will print that player 1 comma your score is, and here player 1 points, and then similarly we need to have it for player 2 as well. So player 2 comma your score is player 2 points. Okay, so we will print both of their scores, and then we will have print. Okay, before that here we will have another print statement, that is print thank you, nice greeting message, or a greeting or a conclusion message, right? So thank you for playing, player 1 your score is this, and player 2 your score is this. Now we need to check that who won the game, right? Because just printing will not give appropriate message. So we need to check that which player's points are greater, and then accordingly we need to declare that who won the match, right? So we will have here if player 1 points is greater than player 2 points. Okay, then here we will have is print player 1 comma you won. Okay, and here inside we will have here else if, that is elif, and here we will print as the reverse condition if the player 2 points are greater than the player 1 points. So what we will do is we will print, and in this what we will do is we will print, and in this print statement we will have a player. Okay, what is happening? We have your player 2 name. Okay, so we'll have your name of the player 2, and we'll tell that player 2 that you won. Not you, but your, your also we need to correct the spelling. Yeah, and again we will need some else condition, right? So what we will have in this else condition, that in this else condition that we will have, in the if condition is checking whether the player 1 points are greater, the elif condition is checking whether the player 2 points are greater. So in the if condition we need to check, if condition will check whether both are equal, and if both are equal, what we need to do is print, and here we will have, oops, that's a tie. Okay, so we are almost done with our program, and that was a little big one of 65 lines. Yes, we are going great with the series, right? Because writing a program for 1 line, 2 line, from 6 lines, and we have come a long way, and writing a program for 65 lines. And I think this was very simple. If you have any doubts or any queries, any problems, you can surely write them below in the comment section. So this seems nice and should work properly. So let's check by running this program. So let's run and hope that it won't throw us any error. So player 1 your name, so let's say we have here John. Player 2, let's say we have here Sam. Okay, so that this word is coding, but the space is not gone, right? We need to remove this space, right? So let's get back to our code and check, and this is our join method, right? Okay, so I think we don't need to pass any space here, and I think it should work fine now. So let's run it again, and so player 1, please enter your name. Let's say we have John again, we have here Sam. Okay, now it's gone. So the first word, this, we know that this is coding because it's simple. Yes, that is the right answer. Your score is 1. So now let's give the chance to another player. Okay, this is simple. This is class. Okay, so now let's just quit. So we should get tie, right? Because the score of both the players is 1. So let's check whether it is working. Thank you for playing. John, your score is 1. Sam, your score is 1. Oops, that's a tie. So it is working properly, and that's our second project. that is Jumbled Words, and we are done with this. So guys, we have developed two great projects at this stage, at this beginner stage. So these projects are really great and amazing. And if you have got this course really well, if you have understood this project, you will be able to create such projects by your own. So let's catch up in the advanced course on our programming portal, and the next course that will be coming on this YouTube channel will be declared soon. Until then, stay tuned. Keep liking the videos. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and share as much as you can. So let's catch up in some another series.